What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ and my good buddy Lance Zierlein with me today. Buck is on the road. He's out and about, but Lance, as always, is he's the ultimate teammate. He steps in a pinch, and he's
Mhm.
here for us always. Lance, how you doing, bud?
I play every position. I don't get a start, but they will have me come in when you're facing a really tough lefty and you don't want to go lefty, ruin a good hitter's rhythm. So, Bucky, we wanted to keep him in rhythm. You let him sit down here in a getaway game, and I come in and I just try to slap one of the other way and get on base. Kind of like the
To give you,
Padres. I try not to mess up my ankles, is what I try to do.
hey, he's fine. It's a low ankle sprain. We're
Try to
fine.
walk on a
It's
hey,
good.
I had one, it lasted a long time, and I'm a premier athlete. So
Uh, I
it can
was gonna
last a little
say,
while,
like,
DJ.
to give you an age-appropriate baseball analogy, is that Terry Pendleton's not available today, but Mark Lemke, in a moment's notice, he's ready. He's ready to
That
go.
is maybe too perfect. It may be too on the nose. Mark Lemke.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I don't know if how can you be simultaneously flattered and offended? I don't
Yeah.
know if that's
That's
possible.
Mark
And yet
Lemke.
Lemke
That's literally the
it
definition of Mark Lemke.
seems perfect if I'm being honest with you.
That's so good. All right, today's episode, we're going to go through. You're in Houston, so I thought this would be a good time. Let's go AFC South, NFC South, and we're going to go rookies that we're buying, okay, that we think can have an immediate impact. And we're also going to go second-year guys that we're buying. So we're going to go two players each team. We're going to go through the AFC South teams, and then we're going to go through the NFC South teams. You tell me, Lance, but I feel like in terms of like buzzy divisions, not maybe the most buzzy divisions with these. We did the AFC North, NFC North. I think they're kind of buzzy. AFC West, I think, is probably the most buzz through this
Mhm.
offseason. These are kind of the quieter divisions that I think they deserve a little love.
Well, that's why you're calling him Lemke, because
Yeah,
this is one of those hot days of June type of games where it's an afternoon game. Like, I don't want to go to the game, Dad. It's too hot.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine. And 11,000 people are in the stands for this one. So
yeah.
that's where you call me in for the AFC South, and I appreciate it.
No,
I'm how I am, DJ, and you're probably the same way. I geek out over this, so I don't really like. It doesn't have to have all the buzz and the shine of national media to find some really interesting storylines and players in the in the first year from a rookie class or second year class. So, it's always the narrative is not written on a player after a year, never,
yeah.
in the positive or in the affirmative or the negative. And so a lot of these, what's interesting is looking over the notes, finding the second year guys, I think, is a fun one, because guys who maybe were forgotten after their rookie season are all of a sudden going to wake up and remind people, hey, remember, it's not a 1 year league. It's my time now.
Tell me what you think on this. Get your opinion, because I always felt with teams, and I can give you like a great example for me is a guy like Dewan Edwards. I don't know if you remember him, a defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
We drafted him in Baltimore out of Washington State, and the first couple of years really didn't do anything. And then he kind of got to his contract year, had a solid year, and I think he signed with the Panthers, I want to say. Anyways, he has a long, productive NFL career, and that was like one small example. There was we had Kimwatu as a defensive tackle who developed a little bit later. I felt like the big guys, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, it's just such an adjustment for them,
Mm-hmm.
playing against grown men, that I felt like a lot of times people quit on those guys, the big guys, a little bit early, and you see guys start to develop and come on and be good players.
Well, I think that's, it's a position, especially offensive line right now, DJ, where there's not as much coaching going on as there once was. You don't have as much time with the players. Pacing and spacing has really created less technique work with players and more about getting away, and just, it's for some offenses, it's less about firing off the ball, which you may have to do when you step into the other league. And then for other leagues, I mean, you and I watch guys who pass pro, and they don't have to do a whole lot. Like, they're not
Mm-hmm.
getting into deep pass sets. It's more quick release, get the ball out, quick game. And they're usually seeing 4-man rush at most. They don't see a lot of 6-man or exotic. So
Overloads and all
yeah,
that.
the overloads, they're not trying to make them think as much in college. So I think for offensive line especially, it can easily be a 2-year curve before year 3 you feel comfortable. You really can't give up on a guy too quickly. I think the Jets are a perfect example of next year. I expect Vera
Vera
Tucker
Tucker. Yep.
and Becton. If Becton's healthy, I think those two guys are going to take substantial leaps in the next year, but especially Vera Tucker, who I thought came on the second half of the year.
For sure. Okay, let's start right in your hometown. Let's go Houston Texans. First, give me your rookie that you're buying, and then give me your second-year player that you're buying. See if we're on the same page here. Go for it.
Yeah, I think rookie I'm buying right now is Kenyon Green. I
Okay.
think he'll step in right away, get reps right away with the ones in practice. If not immediately, very early in camp. We just got done talking about offensive linemen taking a while to get ready, but he's a guy who started every year at Texas A&M. He played in the SEC, so he's seen really good competition. He's played tackle, he's played both guards.
4 spots, yeah.
He's an outside zone, inside zone, gap scheme guy, so he's seen it all. I think he's been well coached, and I think that he is a really plus run blocker, and that's something Lovie Smith really wants to get going in Pep Hamilton's run game. So I actually think more than Stingley and more than Jalen Petrie, and I'm sure you're going to say Petrie, but Kenyon Green is my guy that I think steps in right away and is a factor.
All right, give me your second-year guy, then I'll give you mine for these guys.
Well, the second-year guy for me, and remember the Texans only had 5 draft picks. I think I have to go at Davis Mills, quarterback, second year. He played basically started half the year, and really came on the second half of the year. There's some stinkers in there, so it's you there's an up followed by down, an up followed by down. But he's a smart player. He's got the physical talent, and I think the second year under Pep Hamilton, with the ability to go with an offense that's going to have a running game attached to it this year, which I do believe they're really going to make that a focus. I think Davis Mills could take a big step up this year in what was actually a pretty decent rookie season.
Yeah, I'm going to work backwards because I have Davis Mills as well. So we're on the same page with the second-year player with Davis Mills. And I think having Pep Hamilton there, same voice in his ear, I think that's going to help with the continuity there. I saw him play outstanding in the game I was at against the Chargers, play one of his best games of the year.
Yeah,
so I know mentally he's fine, physically he has the ability. And I think the comfort level of, Pep's going to be the OC now, but just kind of having that same voice, I think is going to help him and be beneficial. I think we'll see a better version of him next year. So I'm with you there. The rookie, and I know I talk about immediate impact, not necessarily immediate impact at the beginning of the year with this one because he's coming off of an injury, but I went with John Mechie. That eventually he's going to find his way onto the field. And I think once he does get onto the field, you're going to plop him in the slot and he's going to win, and he's going to win right away. He is very natural. He's very quick in there. I think for younger receivers, the guys that can go in there and do that stuff, I think they have a chance to pop early.
Yeah, and it's a position that the Texans haven't gotten right for a while. And what I love about him, DJ, is he's a really good route runner. He's an instinctive receiver. I don't think he's overly explosive. I don't think he's overly
quicker than fast.
But he's quicker than fast. But what he does is he's so sharp breaking off routes. And I think Davis Mills, if he becomes comfortable with him quickly, which I think is going to be the case, all of a sudden John Mechie could turn into a real safety blanket for him from the slot. So I think you could be right on Mechie, and the question is going to be how quickly does he get to where he needs to be physically. I don't think the Texans will rush him back. I would expect them maybe to start on the PUP list. We'll see. But I do think that after the first 6 weeks, I do think he is going to be a factor because if you look at the wide receiving core, it's wide open for him to make some noise.
Okay, Jacksonville. Give me your rookie and then your second-year guy.
For my rookie for Jacksonville, let me see. I pulled my teams up too quick here. For Jacksonville, my rookie is going to be, I think it's got to be Devin Lloyd. I mean, linebackers really step into the fray and make noise right away. Darius Leonard in the same division did that 3 years ago and run Rookie of the Year. I think Devin Lloyd's got a chance to make that kind of noise. My second-year guy, I don't really see how it can be anyone but it could be someone other than Travis Etienne, but I do think Lawrence is going to take a big step up. But Etienne, I think, was a really talented running back coming out. He's kind of the forgotten guy. If he comes back from the Achilles and if he can get close to 100%, I think people really have forgotten how talented he was as a running back, as a dual threat, 3-down, full load running back.
All right, I'm going to go. We're kind of on the same wave here. I had Devin Lloyd written down. I scratched him out and actually put Chad Muma down. Same position, drafted a little bit later. But I think Muma, in terms of what he can do in coverage, He's one of the more instinctive coverage players that we had at that position in this draft. And I think he goes in there with just playing with house money. He's got no pressure on him. Devin Lloyd's going to have that all on his shoulders, the expectations. I think Chad Muma is going to come in there. He's going to know exactly what to do. And I think at least early on, he's going to be out there and sub because the guy can really, really cover. So I think he has immediate impact. Devin Lloyd's one of my favorite players in the draft, so I can't fault you on that one. I went Andre Cisco with my second year player, and not just because the same last name of a guy who sings your favorite spring break song. I'm just saying that's not why.
Not the thong song, Cisco.
thong. Who writes that lyrics? Like, I'd love to see the lyric sheet on that thing. I'm just like thong. No, is that one too many thongs, or do we need another thong?
Are we going to do the whole stanza as thongs, or like how many? Is it the hook? What exactly are we doing here? You know who I actually want?
You know what though? Let's paint the hair silver. That'll make this thing pop.
You know what? Thong is monotonous, but they are saying thong. I think it's going to get everyone's attention during the summer. But the other thing is silver hair really will take this to the next level. Let's do that. I'm with it. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to get on TRL.
Cisco had great ball skills. He got to be healthy. Right. Go back to the football.
Oh, Andre Cisco, yeah.
Andre Cisco. Yeah. No, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yeah. I'm done with that one. Indy. Let's go Indy.
I do want to mention for a second. I want to get put on tape right now saying, do not sleep on Snoop Connor. I think Snoop Connor is. I loved watching him on tape.
I'm a Snoop Connor guy.
I am a Snoop Connor guy. I was shocked. His workouts were not impressive. His numbers were not good at the combine. I think that caused him to drop to the 5th round. He's big. He's strong. He's got a little bit of wiggle. I actually think Snoop Connor is a guy who is – those hammerheads tend to make it quicker in the league. That doesn't mean long-term they're better, but the hammerheads who are willing to just hit it in the hole and go, coaches can work with that. The thinkers and the guys who get too cute, it usually takes them a little while, but sometimes they're the more talented backs. I think Snoop could come in and end up being the second running back behind Etienne. And, I know Robinson's hurt, but you could end up having a situation where I think Snoop Connor gets some carries this year and could be a little bit of a factor in Jacksonville.
I'm pulling up my my Snoop Connor notes. I want to know how badly you just dropped the ball to not make any reference going from Cisco to Snoop, but that was all right there for you. Snoop Connor, I gave him a 6.0 D. Smooth. He's got burst. Quick feet, runs behind his pads.
Tell people what a 6.0 D means, what that means.
Yeah, so a 6.0 means he's got the potential to be a starter. There's some development that needs to take place. He's not there yet, but you can kind of envision what he's going to be, provided you get a little bit of development there. So he's not just somebody you draft saying he's a backup. He's always going to be a backup. I think this guy has some starter traits and some starter tools.
I gave him a 6.1 upon my initial write-up. I dropped him a little after the workout. I had Alexander Madison as a comp on him, but I really love the fact that he's a patient, highly effective short yardage back. He's a guy that has a real talent. My dad and I were talking about this recently about a running back that he had at Pittsburgh. I can't remember the guy's name. I mean, it was not a headline name. And he said, this guy just had unbelievable talent at recognizing how to get into the smallest creases. That actually is a skill in short yardage. So that's something I know Snoop is pretty good at. So, wow, Jacksonville had a good draft. That's something that we've said.
Najee Davenport? Was that who we were talking about?
It wasn't Najee Davenport, but it golly, I cannot remember. My dad said he was there for like 1 year, got in some kind of trouble. The Steelers cut him loose and he was a little better than a guy like Mendenhall, Rashard Mendenhall was good running back, but short yardage backs is straight line. Short yardage backs are different. Indianapolis, you mentioned. I think the rookie there, the guy that they really, really love, I know, is at Nick Cross and Bernard Raymond. Safety. I think they can't believe Bernard Raymond made it to the 3rd round after practicing. The Colts like, oh my gosh, this guy should have been way higher. But Nick Cross is somebody that I think they absolutely love. He's the 96th pick. He was a 3rd round pick. Nick Cross, I think, could end up making a lot more noise than people realize as a rookie.
He can really run.
Yeah, can, and he's explosive too. My second-year guy is going to be Dayo Odeyingbo. Odeyingbo, which you and I both know, man. When he was kind of freaky when he was healthy at Vanderbilt. He had some major flashes. He flashed again coming off the Achilles last year for the Colts, and this year he should be fully healthy. Keep an eye on Dayo, because he is a guy that they really love his potential as a front four pass rusher and really muckraker up in the middle.
Good word. I am circling our guys that we both have. So at the end of this little process, we're going to have a few of these names where we're both in agreement on. And I think we can sell that with the pod. Nabil can really push that hard that this guy has no chance of playing well, because DJ and Lance both agree he's going to be the guy. Odangbo is he's my second year guy. We both are on the same page there. You could put both of our arms like together, and we would not be as long as Odangbo.
36-inch arms, I think.
He is, he is rare physical traits, and then he's got really good instincts to go along with that. So we were both big fans of his going to the draft last year. So that's my second year guy. Actually, with Jelani Woods for my rookie impact guy, and you've got buddies there, so you would know better than I on this particular team.
Well,
but I just think from a cultural fit and kind of how they want to use him as an inline guy, he can get after you, and then he has the speed and the traits that group has always coveted to be able to get down the seam. I just think the Colts are going to run the heck out of it. So who's going to benefit from that? And when I look at that offense and I think of linebackers getting pulled up because he's going to be wailing on him at the line of scrimmage one snap, and then the next snap he's going to slip right by, I think he's just a perfect fit for what they do.
Yeah, and they think he can line up in the slot as well, and that's something we didn't see. I mean, we saw it some at Virginia. Certainly in all college football, you see guys playing the slot. No matter what type of tight end you are, you see it all the time. But I think they believe he has a chance to really, truly be a combination tight end who can line up in line or line up in the slot when they need to. I'm guessing he's the next Jack Doyle type for them. But you could see the arrow really pointed up on him over the draft, during the draft process, really in the late season. And he was a 1-year pass catcher, DJ, at Virginia. He was a blocker at Oklahoma State.
And all of a sudden off in the bowl game in the All-Star game. Yeah. All right, give me Tennessee.
All right, Tennessee Titans. For Tennessee, my rookie is going to be Roger McCreary. I think no, I'm going to go Treylon Burks. I like McCreary, but Treylon steps into a position where he almost has to be successful or at least get a lot of touches right away. So I think in terms of just touches alone, Treylon Burks would be my guy. I do think McCreary is going to get a lot of play early on as well, will be the third cornerback. But Treylon Burks, Tennessee, I think, has the type of offensive game plan where they can utilize Treylon the way that he needs to be utilized. And I do think you're going to see a lot of what San Francisco did with Debo. I think Treylon's going to get some of those same types of touches, maybe not out of the backfield, but he's going to be deployed in a variety of positions. My second year guy to take a step up is going to be Elijah Molden. I think Molden already showed some signs last year, played well, but I'm not all in on Caleb Farley right now. Or Dylan Radins. I think you could see Elijah Molden turn into a really big name inside the division. I know he was a good player last year, but there's still room for growth with him. And Racey McMath is another one who has been a special teams guy.
That's just because he was your guy in the draft process. Oh my gosh, if I had to hear Lance talk about Racey McMath one more time on our phone call conversations.
Racey's a special teams guy. But I do think he could become a wide receiver.
Hey DJ, have you watched this Racey McMath from LSU? Yeah, Lance, I watched him 10 weeks ago when you told me about him, and I've heard you ask me about him for the last 9 weeks.
Last year that I tried to put you on? Our guy from Samford,
the receiver. Yeah,
Montrell Jefferson.
What round did he end up going?
It took you I think 5th round. It took you forever to finally watch him. You're like, whoa,
he's pretty good. No,
yes.
I had a lot of guys I got to comb through. I wasn't. You'd be shocked to know this, but I was not getting asked a lot about the Samford receiver and the run up the draft. So I had some other guys I had to get done ahead of time, but I got to them.
So when you were going through your big draft, where you've got to know 700 players, where you have your big conference call with America, with the
I'm still worried. I'm still nervous that you're going to fudge your way into one of those things with some fictitious name.
Ask a fake player. Ask about you seen Brady Breeze's brother, Brennan Breeze from Oregon?
No, here's the best. This would be the best one. Can you tell me about the tight end at Stony Brook? Like, no names, just give me Stony Brook tight end. That's it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's a guy with some size, some grit.
By the way, I promise you, hand on a stack of Bibles, I've never faked one of those things. But you could see how easy it would be to do it.
You
I'll
get
tell you, I haven't watched them because it's not
you
worth
have
it
to
to
because
do
if
that.
somebody catches you, it lasts forever.
Yeah, it'll stick to you forever. Why? Just don't
Uh-huh.
do it. But you
I
could
tried to
see how
trick. I
you
tried to
hear it
trick.
though. I
I did it
guarantee you,
to
you
somebody.
hear guys do it. I
I
guarantee you
tried to
hear
trick
guys do
somebody
that.
when I was in my 20s. I tried to trick Joel Bushbaum, who is
Yeah,
the godfather of
legend.
this,
Yeah,
along with Mel Kiper. Joel Bushbaum was amazing. And he had a voice like this, and he would be so he did shows around the country, and he did one in Houston. And I called about some, I was just being a creep, and I called about some make believe. I called about a real guy at Arizona State, and then a separate guy that was not a real guy. I tried to get him. He goes, first of all, this guy's got a lot of really good power in his lower half. And he went on.
the whole
He's a
thing.
guy with good hands. He's got the ability to get open, not a great inline blocker. And then
Yeah,
he said, as far as the other guy, I don't think he exists. He's not a
you
guy I've
got it.
ever heard of. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh my God. And this was not like internet. This was
you got it.
Joel off the top.
That's pretty good, man. By the way, let me give you my quick thoughts on those two guys,
Yeah.
and we're going to take a quick break. And we got some breaking news just happened in the NFL, so we'll get to that on the other side of this quick little break we're going to take. But I went rookie. I went Chizoquanquo just because they always have this guy. They've had this type of tight end. You think about Delaney Walker. You think about, gosh, why it always escapes me, Jonnu Smith. They've had that body type, that
all the way
move
back
guy.
to Frank Wycheck, even
Yeah,
all the
go
way,
all the way
way,
back.
way back.
So he fits in. They know what I'm getting at. They know what to do with a player like this. So that's my rookie. And then I'm higher on Farley than you are. I like Caleb Farley. We'll see if he can be healthy and what he can do. Hopefully he's had a good offseason. He can get out there. I know I saw something the other day where he was talking about how he was ready to dominate. Let's get out there, get our feet wet, get comfortable. But I know the guy's crazy, crazy talented. So I'm going to jump in on him. So as we recap the AFC South, the two names that we both had, Davis Mills and Deo Odiengbo from Indy. So those are the two. Dio or Deo, by the way?
Dio.
Dio. Okay.
I think
Dio
it's Dio,
Odiengbo.
yeah.
Anyways, two good players. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Again, coming right back, we have a little breaking news, and we're going to get to the NFC South. All right, Lance, just came across Rob Gronkowski retiring. He's done. That kind of surprised me a little bit, huh?
A little bit. Tommy came back. I guess Rob just decided he didn't want to do it. Maybe he didn't want to do it with Bruce Arians gone. I don't know. He seems like the kind of guy that would have got along with Bruce, but you just have to wonder if Rob really wanted to put the time in necessary at this stage of his career. He was kind of a miracle. He was as great as he was because the physical stuff is what knocked him down in the draft. There was real questions about his durability. Were you in the league when he was drafted?
Yeah, he failed our physical. I think I was in Cleveland. Yeah.
Failed the physical, and then he comes out and performs like this. I had a tweet the other day. Frank Gore, people forget he had 2 ACL tears at Miami,
yeah.
and he ran for 16,000 yards with what was
came back had another one in the NFL, right? Didn't he?
Yeah. No, I don't know if he had one in the NFL.
Oh.
I don't know if he had one. I know he had, I think, 11 1,000-yard seasons. I mean, Frank Gore, to do what he did after having 2 ACL tears in college is amazing.
Maybe he had an Achilles. I think he had another major injury somewhere.
He did. Okay.
There. Yeah. So when we get to Tampa, I'll lead us off in this division here. I want Luke Goedeke as my year one guy. And look, it's about finding a place for him. I know they're bringing Shaq Mason. Just with the way it all works out, he's going to find his way onto the field. This is the guy a lot of teams loved. He does have some inside-outside versatility. I just think that things are going to happen. He's going to work his way into the lineup at some point in time this year. And I think, again, you look at Styles and how their offensive linemen play. This is a nasty physical dude who kind of fits the Kappa mold. All the guys that they've had that just want to maul you and finish you. That's who this kid is. Ryan Jensen. He just plays exactly like those guys.
Who's your second-year guy?
Second-year guy is Joe Tryon. Shoinka, does he still have the double last names there?
Yeah, he does. He was Joe Tryon whenever he was
coming out. He's Joe Tryon to me, but then now I got to add that the other name on there. But yeah, you saw the flashes last year. I think it was the New England game. You saw him just get after it. But the physical tools are there. Obviously, you had the opt out. So many of those opt out guys played great last year with Rashawn Slater. Oh gosh, who was the other one? We had another big time.
You mean the defensive player of the year or defensive rookie of the year, Michael Parsons?
Oh, same with the offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
So you had Um, Gosh, I'm terrible with names right now. I have so many baseball names going through my head right now. Why am I spacing on the stud receiver Cincinnati?
Oh, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. There you
Mm-hmm.
go.
He was an opt-out guy. Yeah.
So, anyways, but I think Tryon has a big year, so I'm going with him.
I think working backwards, I think Tryon has got to be the guy. I think Tryon Shoyinka, Joe Tryon Shoyinka, number 9. He's the guy that's got to be the guy there for your second year player who takes a step up, and that step up could be 11 or 12 sacks. Like, he's pretty talented, and I know you were a big fan of his coming out of the draft because he looks the part. You don't worry so much about the instincts being off a little bit because when it clicks, it's going to be a problem. And he's that kind of guy. I'll tell you the guy that I really like for Tampa, I would say Gadeke is the guy that you have to look at. But I want to make sure that I circle Cade Otton because during the process writing him up, I thought Cade Otton might have been my favorite tight end of all of them in this year's draft. He will try him. He will get after you as a blocker, needs a little bit more size. But I think he's got some real explosiveness out of the breaks. I think he can separate. And I think Tom Brady, in conjunction with the Rob Gronkowski news, I think Cade Otton is the type of guy who could end up getting on the field and becoming a better pass catcher. He stayed quiet because he was hurt during the postseason draft process, but I thought his tape was really, really intriguing, and I thought there was a lot of meat left on the bone from a pass catching standpoint. And I think Otton in Tampa with not only Tom Brady but also Byron Leftwich, I think that is a very interesting combination as a first pick of the 4th round type of player. Keep your eyes on Cade Otton.
Well, if we want to know who made the better call between Joe Tryon and Cade Otton, I guess we just call the Washington staff and say how those one-on-ones went when they were teammates back there at UW. So, all right, Atlanta got one maybe surprise you a little bit. I'm going to go D'Angelo Malone with Atlanta. I think the surfaces in that division are so fast, and he is everything about him is explosiveness, first step quickness. He's a little undersized. All this guy does is run by people and make plays off the edge. So that's my rookie. My second-year player, Richie Grant, did not start a game for them last year at safety. We both liked him in terms of the instincts and the ball skills. Played down a lot. I think this year he's going to get a chance to play high where he's more natural, more comfortable, where he can get his hands on a lot of footballs. I think Richie Grant has a big year this year.
Yeah, I think Richie Grant, when you look at the names on the list from last year, Drew Dahlman has a chance maybe to find some time along that front, but Richie Grant would be the guy that makes the most sense. I'm not quite sold on Jalen Mayfield, so I would say Richie Grant is the guy to keep an eye on there. And from a rookie standpoint, London is the easy call, but I really think it's going to be Desmond Ridder. I think everything coming out of camp is nice. You look at the situation he's in. I don't think the Falcons are going to be really tied to Marcus Mariota long term. I do think.
I just don't know if he can stay healthy. I mean, that's my thing.
Marcus,
can he stay healthy?
It's been such a major issue. And the thing is, if he loses, similar to Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills last year, and remember, Davis Mills was a 3rd round pick, Desmond Ridder was a 3rd round pick. I think that if Marcus Mariota loses time to injury at all, Ritter's professionalism, I think, is really going to shine. I think Desmond Ridder could be a guy who steps in and maybe takes over the offense as a rookie and doesn't let it go.
I like that. Well, I think they got a real chance there. Again, we'll see whether it's performance or injury related. He's going to find his way onto the field. Carolina, low-hanging fruit. Ikwonu is my immediate impact as an offensive lineman and a team that was starved for offensive line upgrades. And then second-year player, I went Tommy Tremble, tight end. Again, a guy we talked a lot about coming into the draft. Didn't really light the world on fire last year. We'll see what Ben McAdoo can do with him. But, again, we've talked about it a bunch. Tight end's a trait position right now. This guy's got incredible traits. Just need to be a little bit better, a little more consistent catching the ball. I think his best football is still ahead of him.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm backing you up on both of those. I think Tommy Tremble, when he flashed last year, he really flashed. And there were some games where you could see the problem that he's going to be for players or for teams in that division. He needs to work on his hands still, but he is a really talented athlete. And he's a guy who will block you too. So I think Tommy Tremble is my guy for the second year as well. JC Horn is kind of an easy pick because he was hurt and you just think he's going to step back up. But I think Tremble, in a position where there's a limited amount of big time playmakers at that tight end position, he could end up becoming one of them. So Tremble, for me, I liked him coming out the same way you did. Wouldn't shock me to see him step up in year 2. And then Icky, of all their draft, I mean, I think clearly he's easily the best player. There was no second round pick. I don't think Matt Corral is going to make too much noise this year. So Ickey is the easy call for the rookie to step up in Carolina.
All right, last one here in New Orleans. I'm going to go again, Olave. I know we'll see what happens with Michael Thomas, how he gets back into the fold health-wise, but when I look at Olave, just polished, ready to go, maybe as ready to go as any of the receivers in this draft. The only question really was play strength. I think they'll put him in a position where that won't be an issue. I think you see him kind of over the top. Jameis lives to throw the ball vertically. He can give you that. And then I'm going to go, just because I have no other option because of my co-host for today, my year 2 player, Paulson Adebo. Because for those that don't know, Lance, this is one of his guys, and Lance has he's got 5 guys every year, and he just wears me out with these guys. You're too low on him. I'm telling you, you look at the ball production. If you look at his ball production on balls outside the hash to the left, he's in the 93rd percentile of draftable corners from Stanford. I go, okay, well, I'm trying to see, okay, what is this all?
That sounds like a real stat, actually.
Yeah. So
like
anyways, but he did. Remember, he had a zillion PBUs, and I kept going, the Central Florida game, I can't unsee what Gabriel Davis did to him.
Gabriel Davis. Yeah, so Gabriel Davis sent him back into the draft, basically, is what he should have done.
Yeah.
And Paulson Adebo was hurt, or was he an opt-out? No, he's an opt-out his last year.
He was an opt-out.
Got
3 picks as a rookie last year. He played pretty good.
3 picks. Oh, no, the ball skills are incredible. He's got phenomenal. He's a tall, linear wide receiver. He's got, corner. He's got some Carlton Davis type, elements to him physically. But Paulson Adebo has rare ball skills. The problem is he looks so bad against Gabriel Davis, who's a 4th rounder. And then Gabriel Davis ended up being a really good player.
A great player.
So when you look back, you're like, okay, I remember when who was it? Jamar Chase. Who was it was it Justin Jefferson? No, there was somebody who just got killed by either Justin Jefferson.
Was it AJ Terrell? I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, there was one of those.
Who was that? Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was.
Yeah, or maybe it was even Stingley maybe it was the rookie.
Stingley got worn out by Devontae Smith.
Oh, Stingley also with Van Jefferson.
Yeah.
Of Florida had some really, Van's a great route runner, great release guy. But I like
DJ, you need to go into PFF. You can sort it. Watch all of his snaps and quarters coverage against quarterbacks with a passer rating over 90. I'm telling you, you're going to come way up on this guy.
Go all the PBUs, 3rd and 4th quarter. You can take so many filters and hyper filter it. But Peyton Turner should also have an opportunity to make a lot of noise too.
All right. So the names, to summarize, that we're both on the same page. I'm going to put Adebo down there. So we've got Adebo, Tommy Tremble, Aquano. So both guys from Carolina. Richie Grant we're high on. Joe Tryon, Odeingbo from Indy, and Davis Mills. So that's a good little trip down the South there. AFC, NFC South, Lance.
I'm still waiting for my Zach Bond to really pop. He was one of my guys too. I'm waiting for the Zach Bond stuff in New Orleans to really pop. He did have 4 starts last year, so that was good. 30 tackles. But
by the way, how many defensive player of the years has my guy Ross Blacklock brought home yet? Do we have any? How's that mantle? Is that mantle?
We're hoping he gets a start this year. We're just hoping here in Houston. We're just hoping Ross Blacklock gets a start.
I'm not. I didn't miss on him. You guys just start giving him a chance.
Hey, you're the team. You guys were the team that were, one of the 3 worst teams in football. How about you play Ross Blacklock more and see what happens?
Come on, guys, help.
They actually complimented. He was actually complimented just the other day. The way he's looking, Nick Caserio, and that's one of those things. Sometimes DJ, after the first 2 years, I think sometimes players make it into the league. And I'm not saying this is the way with Ross, but sometimes players make it into the league and they think, okay, I've made it. I'm in the league. I've made it.
Yeah, that's the end of it. The beginning of it.
That is just the beginning. And you find out quickly that your career will be 2 to 3 years at most, unless you really start to kick in. And I think that's Ross Blacklock right now is feeling that, like a lot of 3rd-year guys are.
All right. Last thing, and we're going to get out of here. Was just Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you, Lance. A wonderful father.
Same to you, DJ.
So I appreciate that. So on the way out the door, I need you to give me Phillip Rivers saying thank you to his kids for his Father's Day presents. Go.
Man, you guys are unbelievable. Jebediah, Chase, Geronimo, all you kids, man. Maggie, Chase, Quinn. Did I say Quinn and Chase? Gunner, all of y'all, man, y'all done a great job. I'm just want to tell you, I'm so fired up about this Father's Day. What y'all got me? That's great. I got to look at this. I got slingshot because I still like hunting squirrels with slingshots. It never gets old. I got this shovel for when we're playing King of the Hill. We got that big lump of dirt that's out there. You shovel some off whenever we want the little kids to play on here. I got this basketball return shooter thing where hook it up to the basket and then you shoot it and it runs it right back to you so you don't have to go chasing air balls around all over the place. Phillip is tough on the throat. I'm going to tell you right now. The Phillip Rivers, I was already on the sideline with my Phillip Rivers. Man, because when I like to do Phillip, I am fired up right now, man. Charger football. This guy Herbert, man, I like him. He throws more than 5 yards down the field, which is nice. A little bit of a change of pace from when I was there. But I had all the moxie. If this kid gets a little moxie, man, he's going to be tough. He's going to be dangerous.
He's Lance Zierlein. He's got a bad throat, but he's the best. He's the best Mark Lemke we could get on short notice. So we do appreciate that.
Who's the other slappy from the Marlins? Remember they choked up on the bat.
You going Craig Counsell?
Craig Counsell. There you go.
Manager of the Brewers.
He's tough to get out, man. He's just tough to get out.
I hear you. All right, here he is. Appreciate you, Lance. You're the best, buddy. Nabil, thanks for all your work, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Move the Sticks.